Also, you want to put time aside, well, for whiskey. It's kind of a favorite thing. We're talking about two of my favorite things this morning. Food and whiskey, specifically pairing certain treats with a couple of fingers of your favorite whiskey. Our friends from 10 Foot Henry on 1st Street Southwest helping us out with the food this morning. Gabriel Cardarella, I hope I said that properly,
nailed it.
From Last Great Malts is providing the whiskey. And you were saying that for the first time ever, these guys are being launched.
Exactly. It's really
That's cool.
It's amazing for us. We have 5 single malt whiskeys that fall into our Last Great Malts portfolio. So essentially, these are whiskeys that we're introducing for the very first time in North America. So to provide whiskeys that some people have never tried before that are fantastic in terms of the story and the way that we make these whiskeys, make them some of the best whiskeys from Scotland.
And you were saying that these individually were going into the blends before, but now they're all their own baby, right?
Exactly. Well,
Okay.
they still will make a part of the dealer's portfolio of our blended portfolio, but now we've got some proprietary bottlings of this liquid that is made so well.
Well, let's talk about it. Okay, the first one here is the Royal Brackla, is that
Royal
correct?
Brackla,
Okay.
yeah. This is one of the oldest distilleries in Scotland. It was built in 1812, and this whiskey celebrates one of the longest fermentation times in Scotland. It was awarded the first ever royal warrant by King William IV.
Really?
And it's finished in the finest first fill Oloroso sherry casks. You get things like apricots, raisins, nice spicy notes, a beautiful malt.
That's right up my alley.
Yeah, it's fantastic whiskey.
Now, so, I mean, what kind of hints of flavor do I get in this, and why did you pair it with that food?
Right, so when pairing whiskey with food, we fall in this really nice approachable category. Our whiskeys come from the Highland and the Speyside region of Scotland, so you're thinking really delicate character for the most part. But with Brackla, you've got a whiskey that's really sweet forward from finishing it in these sherry casks, but due to its age statement at 12 years at least in the bottle, you get this nice oak spiciness character to it.
Sure.
So the yams are quite sweet in character, but the dressing of the sauce that's put on there has a bit of the spiciness to it.
Okay.
So sweet and spicy with a whiskey that's already sweet and spicy, you can't go wrong.
I see bacon in there, or is that prosciutto?
Looks like prosciutto,
There's
yeah.
prosciutto in there too, so you get kind of that kind of salty flavor,
Yeah,
which
fantastic.
is nice.
Salty flavors and sweet flavors always go really
Dynamite,
well.
right? All right, okay, what's the middle one here?
Aberfeldy. This whiskey is really the spiritual home for Dewars. This was built by the Dewar family to become the heart of all of the blended portfolio. But it's one of the most honeyed whiskeys you'll ever try from Scotland. Now, we never add honey, of course, right? But due to, again, this longer fermentation style, long, tall stills, and it really just becomes, due to its fact that it's aged in mostly American oak casks, really quite sweet. So sweet and oak in character. It's a beautiful whiskey in the Highland region of Scotland. So putting that with a nice coconut cake, any cake really with whiskey is phenomenal. But sweet and sweet, it's going to go really quite nice on the palate.
Nice.
Take a bite of the cake, finish it with a nice whiskey that has a bit of honey and oak.
Yeah.
All day. It's fantastic.
Awesome. That's kind of neat. And last but not least is which?
Yeah, this beautiful bottle here, Devon. This is the northeasternmost distillery in Scotland. The bottle represents sea glass, that eroded glass that you find on the banks of the shores of the sea.
That's
just off
neat.
the North Sea, this distillery sits on the river Devon. And it's modernized the distillation process for most distilleries. Really uses one of these unique setup of stills to create a whiskey that's really kind of more like biting into a Granny Smith apple. It's really, really sweet in character, which is amazing when pairing it with different things that tend to be quite sweet in character as well. So any dessert will go quite well with any one of these whiskeys, but the Devon being quite sweet will go so nicely with this.
And what kind of food is that?
This we have this is the caramel.
Is it like a creme caramel? Is that what it is?
Butterscotch.
Oh, butterscotch.
Yeah, butterscotch.
Oh,
yeah.
excellent.
So butterscotch. That's a note you find in a lot of whiskeys, especially with age. You tend to get a little bit more of this butterscotch character forward from the oak coming through. And butterscotch, fantastic with the nice Highland and Speyside whiskeys.
What's your website if people want to find out more about the scotches?
Each one of these distilleries has their own website. But the lastgreatmalts.com, you'll find information about all 3.
Great, and they're available everywhere.
They're available
everywhere, which is cool. And a big thank you to our friends at 10 Foot Henry for providing the sweet treats this morning. Nice to meet you.
Cheers. Likewise. Thanks for having me.
We got new scotches to try, Andy.
Yes, sir.